Hi everyone, I'm having a squatting moment. Well, not quite squatting, but just lying down, just been writing, looking up some quotes on my phone. I just wanted to add a second video about criticism, dealing with criticism. So this is kind of part 2 of the dealing with criticism as an entrepreneur, or just as a person, you know, just as a human being. We all get criticism. I don't think there's a single person on the planet who doesn't get criticism. And I've had some really interesting chats with people about this, with friends, with other entrepreneurs, other business builders. So first of all, I just wanted to read out some really good quotes that I found about criticism. I was looking for a particular quote which I didn't find. It may have been Churchill. The quote I was looking for was something along the lines of, "No statue was ever built in honour of a critic," which I thought was very interesting. You know, so it's worth thinking about. Some other good quotes. Another from Winston Churchill. "You have enemies? Good, that means you've stood up for something sometime in your life." So actually receiving criticism is not something to be ashamed of. It's not a slur on your character. It means that you have stood up for something. There are another couple of good quotes from Francois de la Rochefoucauld, French person, not quite sure how to pronounce that. "If we had no faults, we should not take so much pleasure in noting those of others." Another couple I liked, one from Elbert Hubbard. "To avoid criticism, say nothing, do nothing, be nothing." And this one really spoke to me. So the only way to avoid criticism in your life is to say nothing, do nothing, be nothing. So you've got to think, is that something you're really interested in? Being so invisible, you know, hiding in the shadows, being so afraid to be criticised that you're completely afraid to be yourself and stand up for what you believe in. That's not, you know, that's not a great thing. That's not a thing to go to your grave with, to think, well, I avoided any kind of criticism. I completely stayed out of the limelight. I stood up for nothing, had no convictions, and never spoke up and said the right thing, did the right thing, even if it went against what other people thought, you know. Another good quote from Andy Warhol. "Don't pay any attention to what they write about you, just measure it in inches." Measure it in column inches. Does it matter? It's just words. There was one more that I liked that I was going to read out. One by Will Self, who I think is amazing. So he basically said, "A creative life cannot be sustained by approval any more than it can be destroyed by criticism." Absolutely right. Because creativity comes from within. It doesn't come from... It shouldn't come from the approval of others, and it shouldn't be shrunk down. It shouldn't be diminished because of the disapproval of others. You know, creativity comes from within. It's a very personal thing. Oh, the final one that I really love, by Dale Carnegie, who wrote How to Win Friends and Influence People. He said, "Any fool can criticise, complain and condemn, and most fools do. But it takes character and self-control to be understanding and forgiving." How true is that? How much more wise it is to attempt to understand and get beneath the layers and not judge. You know, how easy is it to judge? We all do it. And every time I judge somebody or something in some way, it always leaves a nasty taste in my mouth, because I'm always aware that I've done it, and I think, it felt too easy. How much information do we really have in that we can judge, you know? So I just wanted to read out some quotes because I really liked those. And I wanted to talk a little bit about ways of dealing with criticism, because I watched my first video back and realised that, so I talked about a way of dealing with it, which is having a certain mindset of, you know, looking at critics, people who constantly criticise. You have to look at them you know, as, are they trying to do? And they're probably not trying to do, they're just criticising. But I didn't actually talk about ways of responding to criticism or ways of not responding. So I did a bit of thinking about this and going from personal experience and conversations I've had with other people. It seems there's pretty much three ways of dealing with criticism, of responding to criticism. So if you have any more ideas, let me know. If you've had experience of this, if you want to put any comments, if you want me to cover different aspects of this in more detail, just let me know. But off the top of my head, these were the three ways that came to mind as, these are the three basic choices you have when you're criticised, whether it's to your face, whether it's comments on your YouTube channel, whether it's a text message, whether it's somebody in the street, whether it's criticism that you think is justified or not justified, whether it's criticism that's true or untrue. There are three basic ways. So number one, you can argue back. And I spoke to another very successful business coach who told me, so he's now very successful with a lot of subscribers, but in his early days he used to argue back, respond to every criticism on his channel, get caught up in these long discussions. And he said what he realised was it was just a waste of time. It was an absolute waste of time for him, and it was also giving attention to the person who was criticising him, who was just trying to get attention, and he was wasting his time giving attention. So number one, you can argue back, but you've got to think to yourself, are you going to change their mind? If they've made up their mind about you, are you going to change their mind? Probably not. There's probably nothing that you can say that's going to make them turn around and say, oh, do you know what, I had you all wrong. The other thing is, are you going to feel better for arguing? Probably not. I know this from personal experience. You can argue and think that if you just say the right thing, you're going to resolve everything, resolve all the bad feeling. Generally, you come out of it feeling shitty, thinking, oh, I wish I hadn't bothered, I've wasted my time, and you actually feel more caught up and more invested in the criticism because you've given it your attention. Number two option, you can shrug and agree with them and say, you may be right. Now, something I loved about Wayne Dyer, Dr. Wayne Dyer, who's been a massive mentor for me, wonderful, wonderful man, very wise man. And what I loved about him is that he said he dealt with his hate mail and his fan letters with exactly the same response. And I thought this was genius. So he'd receive so many thousand letters saying, you're wonderful, you changed my life, what an amazing man you are. He'd receive the same number of letters telling him that he was an idiot, he was a charlatan, he was a liar, he was this and that. And he would respond to every letter with the same response. He would write, you know what, you may be right. And he basically said that what other people thought about him was none of his business. So you could absolutely look at it like that. What you think of me is none of my business. What matters to me is my character, my mission, my integrity, my standards. What you think about me is kind of irrelevant because I know where my standards are set. I know what I'm trying to achieve. If you love me, great. If you don't love me, that's fine. Be on your way. Go and find someone else to love or hate or criticise or whatever. Number three option, you can ignore the criticism and just go ahead with your day and focus on your dreams, your goals, your activity, your contribution to the world. Don't worry about theirs. Again, it comes back to that thing. The person criticising you, are they doing anything of any note? Or are they just criticising people because they feel crap about their lives? And do you really want to give attention and waste your time on someone like that? Do you really want to take time out of your day away from your mission? Do you want to take time away from the positive things that are happening in your life to spend energy on this negative person? So it's worth thinking about. So I hope that's helped somebody. I've kind of come up with a new slogan, which I'll see if I can remember. It was, to succeed in life and business and love, you've got to keep growing and you've got to keep going. So that's my new little slogan. I'm going to start signing off with that. So hope that's helped people. I hope that you're getting value from my videos, that they're just, you know, I'm realising that teaching and sharing is a two-way thing. So I want to feel as if I'm helping people and that maybe I'm getting a dialogue going with people. I'd love to get any feedback, any comments, any ideas of your own. And let's discuss this stuff. Let's put it out in the open. Let's share positive ways of dealing with negative situations. So as always, if you like my videos, please subscribe. I'm going to be doing more and more and more. I'm going to keep doing them, at least one a day, dealing with love, life, business in particular, entrepreneurialism, and just having success in your life. So please like, please subscribe, please comment, and I will catch you all soon. Okay, cheers guys, bye.